Hello everyone, welcome back to me playing Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. We're right back into the game from where we left off. And we are going to meet Quinn for the third time.
Huh, look at you. Well, I didn't know if we'd meet again, but I'm glad we did. Set yourself down here with me and Cass and Flip. Need a drink of water? Need to warm up? Still trying to see much of this country as I can. Folks I meet are sometimes kind, sometimes mean, and sometimes still perplex me. But all of them beats the folks I left. How about you? Seen anyone interesting since we last met? Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
Excitement. What have I told you and what have I not told you? Have I ever told you of Bill the cowboy who rode right into the storm?
Well, that was something. You spin a good yarn.
Alright, that's completed with the eye and all.
Joy. I surely have seen some joyful scenes in my travels. Just a few trains back, I was invited to partake in a harvest by some kindly folk. Had quite the feast, and the dogs got to run around a farm. Wasn't until after I was heading out that I saw the little baby graves. Strange to play stand-in for ghosts. Seems joy's all mixed with sadness these days. Makes my head hurt. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
Scary stuff? Well, I got just the thing. The old haunted mill operated by a ghost.
You spin a good yarn. I was shivering there for a little bit. There you go, talking about family. Like I said, don't need nobody but my dogs. Flip's still a little green. Found him starving and angry by the roadside a few months back. He gets riled now and again, but he don't do nothing too bad if you just wait and let him get it out of his system. He's good to have around most times, and Cass sure seems to enjoy the company. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor.
I'm literally a walking skeleton, but yeah. I don't think I have that many funny stories. Well, we have the whole Miracle Grow formula. Sort of funny because it tasted like unwashed death.
I don't get too much out of tales that are so cheerful. Not enough excitement for me. In this country, I don't rightly know what this thing called America is. I know what I done been told in school, but the words don't fit the picture. What with tramping across the whole thing, figure I'll find out for myself soon enough.
Yeah.
You got any happy stories?
Happy stories, you say. I just told a happy story, that's the thing. I think the best one I have is the story of the seagulls and fishermen.
Now that's a happy story.
Indeed.
Huh, the future. I suppose I'll just keep heading west. California sounds mighty fine, and most everyone is heading that way anyhow. I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot.
Oh yeah? I got just the thing. Story of the rider in the woods.
Wow, that's the stuff, stranger. Spooky campfire tales are my favorite. Freedom? Well, that's what them trains have come to mean to me. Freedom. Crossing a country wider than imagination. Aw, heck, the night's over already. I sure enjoyed talking to you, but I gotta get on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road. Sometimes I surely do wonder what'll become of this land. Folks have been chasing the dream of tying it up for so long. Now they got their wish. Things are worse than ever. Maybe America was never meant to be held in your hand like this.
The fact that that this is a child talking to me is almost heartbreaking to me. A child has so much, you get it. I don't think I can talk to Quinn again immediately. She has heard all of my stories right now. So I'll head down to Indiana, to Kentucky, meet a few cities on the way, and then head back to Virginia. Start heading down North and South Carolina, working my way through there. See what we have here. You wait in the soup line for over an hour, barely crawling along around the corner of the building and see, far away, a long pair of nurses struggling to ladle out soup to hundreds. Can't be waiting here a while longer, says the mother in line beside you. Seems like it. You and her get talking. After a while, the topic drifts into a strange place. And start telling you about Pecos Bill, cowboy who tamed the wild. You recognize the story about Bill, the cowboy who rode into a storm. It's way more outrageous than your version. I know that story. You tell her her version. That's not exciting, she says diplomatically. I mean, it sure sounded realer than what I heard, but I think Toby liked mine best. She bounces her child encouragingly on her hip. Toby's too hungry to smile. Move on. Cowboy who tamed the wild. Now that sure is something.
The barn and silo have seen better days. One big storm might bring the whole structure down. A man hollers.
Ken? Ken! I know you're here, boy!
He sees you and lopes across the field toward you.
You seen a boy around? About 14?
I haven't.
He sighs.
My boy is missing. I haven't seen him since last night.
He swallows.
He ain't the type to run off, neither. Can you spare a minute to help look? I'm worried sick.
I'll check inside.
Interior of the barn is dim, even with the great doors thrown open. You check the animal stalls, but find nothing. As you look up to the loft, you spot a gap in the roof. A bit of cloth hangs down. Perhaps a shirt.
Check the roof.
You climb the ladder and make your way across the roof. A trail of empty beer bottles leads you past a discarded shirt and to the base of the silo. You climb up. There's a hole in the silo roof, a rupture where rotten wood gave way under something large.
Inside.
You maneuver your way along the edge, keeping your weight off the rotted panels. You poke your head inside. He's there, half submerged in the grain. He's been dead for half a day at least. The
Terrible.
man's waiting at the bottom of the barn ladder.
Anything?
There's a spark of hope in his eyes.
Oh man. Tell him the truth.
He chokes back a sob.
I told him not to go up there. I told him.
He looks up at the tower, then turns to you, tears tracking down his grimy cheeks.
Why didn't he listen?
I'm gonna move on. That's awful. Connecticut. They used to call this place the Paris of America, and it's fitting. The new Union Station makes you feel like an ant. The music hall is a hell of a place to look at too. Explode.
The corridors of Cincinnati's music hall reverberate with the sounds of an orchestra warming up for rehearsal.
If we unbolt the light rig, we can crush him.
Says a voice up ahead. No, another answers. Hiding Baldy's baton will be sufficient to stop the din. The tuxedoed men are slightly transparent. Mustachio on the right has his arms folded. The weaselly one on the left scowls. They start at your arrival.
I'm gonna undo those bolts.
Weasel feature vanishes into thin air.
Damn it all.
Says the other man.
What was that about? I know they're ghosts, but what was that about?
We used to be members of the orchestra until, well, you know. Patrick doesn't care for the new blood. It seems like talent died with us. So he does his damnedest to stop them playing. But I can't allow violence against fellow artists. Help me stop him.
How do I stop a ghost?
With the right tool, you can banish them from the hall. You see, no spirit can stand the sound of the purest of all instruments.
The piano?
No,
Violin?
no,
Banjo?
no.
The flugelhorn?
He shakes his head, exasperated.
No! The triangle. The orchestra has one, but their percussionist's a sop. He never hits it right. If you can get there, you can ensure the only thing brutalized here today is Chopin.
The orchestra is midway through practice. They're in dire need of it. The percussionist dozes on his stool. Everyone's oblivious to the muttering from the lighting rig.
I gotta save the musicians. Rush for the triangle.
You sprint down the aisle and elbow through the incensed musicians. The percussionist falls off his stool as you clamber over his xylophone. You grab the beater and bring it down onto the triangle, eliciting a pure, resounding note. And
Yes, tell me.
the rafters ring with laughter. The mustachioed ghost appears next to you, doubled over, invisible to the furious orchestra.
Oh,
I never thought you'd fall for that. The triangle, for God's sake. Thanks for shutting them up, though.
Oh, I was bamboozled. I'ma just move on from there. I have disgraced myself. Okay, I follow the river. I get up here. I need to cross the river. That's the thing. I might as well go grab these stories.
The man lowers his paper as you come near. His weather-beaten face is drawn. They say it's spreading. The dust is strangling the land. Half my cattle suffocated in the last storm. We cut open the carcasses to salvage the meat. They were filled with mud.
It happens.
He calls after you, his voice hoarse. This whole land is dying. If the harvest fails again, people will too. You walk on, past the dust-choked fields of his farm, trying to ignore the feel of sand in your shoes.
What do we have here?
She waits by the ruined mill, in an overcoat 2 sizes too big.
Look, over here. Look at this.
She yells.
This only happens once every 10 years, for Christ's sake.
She grabs your hand, and you both look at the black gear rolling west to cover the sun.
I mean, it's an eclipse, right? Well, you shouldn't look right in an eclipse. Look away.
You know it's dangerous to do that. You avert your eyes and make her do the same. She looks at you, out from under the brim of her hat, with wide eyes, deep and dark like black buttons, in her brown, weathered face.
I see no reason not to look at her.
The cast of shadows rises up her body. She closes her eyes and nervously kisses you. Just lightly. Her lips slightly wet and barely parted. Her hand touches your cheek. She softens, widens. The darkness blacks out you both.
Oh, I see. That was unexpected. Well, I am literally a skeleton, so... The farmer's loitering beside a couple of crates of berries, idly watching the clouds go by. Waiting for the pickup? Is this trying to make something? Hey, you want to hear a wild story? Absolutely. I'll tell you about the fishman and his fish calling seagulls. Takes a couple of minutes, but you're making a story about the seagulls and the fisherman. Whoever told the farmer changed a lot, but still pretty good. Where you hear that story? Oh, I can't remember, he says. I think I know it for years, since I was a boy for sure. That can't be right. Leaving with his tail. He's thanking for his story and talk mostly down the road. Keep cool, friend, he calls after you. Fisherman and fish calling seagulls. What do we have here?
Here. Can you find her?
His voice is soft, cooing. He's lowered himself down so that his head is level with the two blonde-topped boys next to him.
Can you find Grandma?
They're pulling ears of corn off stalks with uncommon gentleness.
I'm at just watch.
There she is.
He points to a specific cob. It's enormous, but otherwise unexceptional.
We gave her back to the corn, and now the corn has given her back to us.
One of the boys, awed, reaches out with a reverent hand to touch the cob.
This is weird.
This one's not for eating.
The man continues.
No, this one we keep. Come on, boys. We better get home before dinner time. Harvest starts tomorrow.
He turns to lead his children back towards where you're standing.
I'm gonna hide.
He seems beatifically distracted as he gingerly carries the pristine ear of corn in one hand, never noticing you. His children tail after him. One of them, his blonde mop of hair mirroring the bright yellow maize, seems to glance at you, but not really understand what he sees.
Look at him.
And there it is, subtle but perceptible. A patch of red spots on his face, fuzzy and fungal, like the omnipresent rust that you've seen on leaves here and there in every cornfield. Except this one, of course.
Children of the corn? Huh. Okay, yeah, that's weird. A long black car growls up in front of this hotel. Out steps a woman in an extravagant hat and coat, followed by a whole crowd of hangers-on. Is she a singer? An actress? You don't recognize her face, but to your surprise, she recognizes. To your surprise, you recognize the story she's telling. A sharp, trans, Atlantic accent, telling everyone in her party a story about a hotel haunted by the ghost of twin toddlers. It is clearly the story of the silent twins, but changed in entertaining ways. Keep listening in. Isn't that something? She asks. Marius Polyros agrees. He takes the driver of the limousine and sweeps into the hotel like a thunderstorm of red velvet. Someone should do a picture about it, you hear her exclaim. Ah! Story grew on telling. Hotel haunted by twin toddlers.
Ride with us a little while, stranger.
It's a kind offer. Miles of dusty road through the rolling prairies have recast this landscape as an exhausting soup of wind and misery. There are 4 of them on the wagon. A perfect nuclear family. Mother, father, son, daughter, and a small fuzzy terrier trailing behind. But the pace of their movement is glacial. The draft horse ambles forward, one agonizingly slow step at a time.
Why so slow?
Ain't no point rushing to get where we were going.
The wooden cart shivers with every pebble on the road that its wheels must laboriously traverse. The girl in the back pipes up.
The going's the point, see?
Keep with the car.
Time stretches wearily. The father sometimes makes half-inch adjustments to the horse's trajectory, keeping him from ambling off the road. There is some intimation that they are heading for Oregon, but at no point does it mention when they might arrive.
Move on. So, going on. Now, stories I have. What stories do I need? What do I need to switch out? Yeah, I have this. Sad story. I have this. Thunderstorm. Haunted Man. Cups. Still don't have a justice. Alright. Okay, so that does not cost money. That's good. Now that I've crossed the river, I can keep heading down here. Maybe I should just head up along the river here, then continue down. I can go up again. The man reads the newspaper with barely contained horror. He grimaces, reading wider and wider. He's making his way down the page. Suddenly he frowns, cracking into something with a little more amazement. Whoa, he says. What's the matter? He reads out a story about the miller who would grind travelers to death on his millstone. Shocked. Story of the haunted mill operated by a ghost with some bits changed. Do you think it happened? He says. Oh yes. Drugs. Sounds like nonsense to me for sure, he says. Stuff they print these days.
I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my soul. 'Cause when my toes
You hear the whippoorwill first, shrill and close. Then you see him, high up above the black streaks of wires. A lineman, fraying belt holding him to the pole. A damned bird has come to perch on a power line, stare hungrily at the man's soul. He's unsteady, his hands are shaky, and his body sways in the wind. You spot his tool bag next to the pole, worn and frayed, much like the man. A half-gone bottle of cheap rye pokes out of it.
I'm gonna take that bottle.
What's he gonna do? Come down from the pole? You snatch it from his bag in one quick motion and walk away. Hey! He starts, but whatever he's about to say slips into a slurred whine as his belt snaps. His body plummets. His limbs go slack with the understanding of what is happening to him. He tumbles into the tall, dry grass by the side of the road with a muffled noise. All you hear is the call of the whippoorwill. Eager, loud, thankful.
My vagrant soul.
Did I just cause that man to die? I think yes. Yes, I did. Oh hey, that's Franklin. Yeah, I could meet up with him. Franklin.
It's a funny thing, someone looking right through you. But don't lie to me, friend. I know you want to know the truth, what it really means to be a porter. Well, I can tell you it's more than making white folks happy. That's just how it's supposed to look. But you go on so long being how you're supposed to, you're not quite sure how to go back to what you are. Though I suppose I can give it a try. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Excitement, you say? Excite. Storm generated by the giant bird.
Whew, that's a wild one, all right. Home for a porter is the next train station. It's a warm Baker heater stove in the middle of cramped living quarters. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got me?
Happy story. Happy. Fisherman and fish calling seagulls.
Just like I told you, friend. Miles of smiles. I guess the future's in our hands. Nobody had ever seen organized black folks before the Brotherhood came along. It's on us to make sure that's how it keeps on going. See, I spend a lot of time thinking, will we be the first black union or the only? Anyway, you must have some funny stories to tell. Share one.
Funny stories, huh? Funny stories. Ah, classic. The Leatherman.
Oh, that's a good one. Very good. It's hard to have faith in a person if you never really know him. And let me tell you, it's hard to really know a porter. At least to know more than what he wants you to know. You can let him completely into your life, and he'll keep you in the dark about his. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
I want hope. I don't bring a lot of hope, honestly. I don't know. That's one. The lighthouse one is one I want to
A
say.
positive attitude. That's what I like to hear. Oh, love. Yeah. Porters like to spread news amongst ourselves. And nothing is more newsworthy than a phone number a pretty little Piola just happened to leave behind. Don't tell anybody, but that's how I met my last girl in Harlem.
Oh, I see.
You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Excitement. The cowboy who tamed the wind.
Didn't I hear that story on the radio? You told it better, though.
Yeah.
When they want to liven spirits up, to bring each other joy, all railroad folk tell the story of the steel-driving man, John Henry.
John Henry, huh?
But only us porters talk about Big Old Daddy Joe, the best porter who ever lived. I've always been more partial to that tale. Another night over. I've got to get going. My journey takes me down the rails this way. But it was good talking to you.
You too, man.
And how'd you like that, Sharon? Our dark silhouette's a little easier to make out. Sooner or later, the whole world's got to know what we really are. And what's it really like. That's the only way we're really going to matter to anyone besides ourselves. And now that you know the bad, doesn't the good sound that much better? Sharing goes both ways, though. Is your truth a little more complicated, too?
Oh, buddy, you have no idea about the truth about my character. I'll cross the river again and head down here. Like I've said before playing this game, but I'm gonna say it again. I love the art style so much. It's beautiful. And the fact is that oh, I'm heading the wrong way. That's this way, along 79. Or well, there isn't exactly a wrong way in this game. That's another thing I really like about it. And really can I walk over mountains? No, I can't. Ah, but there is something there. Oh, curiosity killed the cat, you know. Hear a story here. A tiny motor mouth is eagerly sharing the details of a strange tale with her brother as they loiter outside the store. The boy listens rapidly, eyes growing larger, mouth hanging open like a fish. Listen in. She's telling him about the legendary Gwen Mitchell. The richest and most ruthless bootlegger ever. Try to hide your surprise, it's a story about the shootout between the female bootleggers and the cops. The version the girl must have heard is embellished to say the least. But hey, a good story. Oh my. Now that's a completed story, isn't it? Yeah, that's a completed story. richest and most ruthless bootlegger ever. I see. Well, that's a lie. Stories grow. That's how they are. Now, a thing that I've been thinking about doing is when I meet someone new, I swap out a lot of the stories I have. Swap out a few stories I have. And try to tell the ones I haven't told as much to make all of them start growing. Now, I don't know what this is. Seems a little hidden, at least. Folk is setting up a cooking tent. Corner of the fairgrounds. Beyond them, one who can cash out. Hot plate serving cake, cooking tables. Oh, I made mine. I didn't need it, but okay. I've already been in Washington, haven't I? Yes, I have. Wandering across the world. What else is grown? Yeah, I've already read this. A leadman who walks a route across Connecticut for 200 years. Oh! I have the Leatherman.
He leans against a fence and turns to face you as you pass him by. At his back is a bag full of birdseed. He assures you that the gawky birds perching on his body are the last remaining passenger pigeons.
They look extinct to you?
You're not sure those dull gray pigeons look anything like the pictures you've seen of passenger pigeons, though you can't help thinking they stare at you a little too intently.
Say, you like birds?
Sure.
They're lovely creatures. Guileless, really. Hunted damn near to extinction, weren't you?
He strokes one of his birds under the chin. You think you see drips of blood flecking the creature's dirty gray head.
Excuse me?
You sense it's about time you start moving on.
You be kind to the little birds now, you hear?
You hurry along the road, though the flapping of ungainly wings seems to follow you for hours.
Oh, pigeon keeper. Well, this? Bill Ben.
Sorry, friend, but I gotta ask you not to get no closer unless I can see your hands at all times. Look too clean to be one of us. But you don't look like the company sent you neither. All right,
Coal miner.
come and share my fire spell. Don't linger. These hills is full of ears. Don't think just 'cause you can't see no one that you're safe. And I'll give you cornbread. Don't be so sure of me neither. I need a laugh. Know any good jokes?
Good joke. I can tell you about the Leatherman. One of the greatest stories I have at this point. The Leatherman.
You are a pretty funny one, you know that?
Oh lord, it worked.
Trust. Can I trust you? If I asked you how many widows were made when the number 9 fell in, would you know?
I have no idea.
What year it was when they walked Samuels and his boys down to Big Sandy and done them like criminals? You heard the word of Mother Jones? If you can't answer these, I can't say much. See anything exciting out there on the road? Mostly I just...
Exciting. There's Thunderbird people who fly when they fall from heights. But that's too much of a upgraded story, so to say. Ah, that's also there. That one might be scary. The taxi which shows the future.
brings me back. There was a time when me and Big Ben could just enjoy exciting stories like this one. Innocent. Dreaming about the future made me a wanted man. But now I'll be glad just to get over the county line at dawn. Got any funny stories? Must have a couple.
Ah, funny. I told you. I don't know if the strange stones are a funny one, but I was happy, peaceful.
Come on, that's all made up.
Ah, fair enough.
I always wanted a little place where I could watch the sky change color, watch the cook fire smoke dance up among the pines. Anyway, I need something to laugh about. Got any funny ones?
I can always tell him the ones of brothers. The past. The past.
You got some wit, stranger. The past. I remember looking between my mama's ankles down the road. Every evening, she'd be whispering. Still don't know if she would count the workers or praying about them. I need a laugh. Know any good jokes?
Funny stories, huh? I'm almost out of those. Watch me. Most of the stories I have are either just exciting or downright depressing. I'll tell you the story of the killers on the street.
Stranger, miners tell me sadder stuff than that every day of the week. Authority? Bosses? You ain't worth nothing to them. You're like a pickaxe or a coal cutter. Damn shovel.
Ah, thanks.
You break, you get replaced. It's almost like they're proud of that. Morning. I gotta get going. Headed up that way. Won't be specific. For my safety and yours. If you wanna find me, then do it. Talk again about these things. Coal ain't got no country. No worker neither. Worker ain't Virginian, Christian, white, colored, Irish, Polish, nothing. Worker
It's a worker.
We all gotta work.
Ah,
You're one of them. If you think I sound red, you best come out and say so. Get it over with.
Ah, Well then. I'm gonna listen to one final story. And then I'm gonna end this episode.
Outside the small thicket of apple trees, the phrase "tended to by John Chapman" is carved into a fence post. Nearby, a hound lies on its side, perfectly still. Flies buzz around its ears. But a grizzled man pauses at his digging to shoo them off.
I help him dig.
There's an extra shovel. With it, the two of you make short work of the grave. He tells you about his beliefs, why he's raising apple orchards in the middle of the country. It's a sin to graft, he tells you. Hurts the tree. Eventually, the hole is deep enough.
But bear witness.
He stoops to the ground and lowers the pup into the earth. Tears flow freely. I'll see him again in heaven, he tells you. Our souls are bound by love. He wipes his eyes. I don't think I can bear to stay here, though. Maybe I'll sit out again.
Terrible. John Camp, his orchard, and his dog. So on that little somber note, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you all so much for watching. Till the next episode, be safe, take care.